More shootings over the weekend, bringing us closer to a record number of homicides in Louisville. Another deadly shooting over the weekend means 151 people have been killed in Louisville this year. More than 20 of those victims were under 18 years old. That's 151 families struggling with the loss of a loved one, and even more students coping with the losses of classmates. Gabrielle Harmon explains the impact violence has community-wide and where we go from here.
A neighbor who loses a child or a friend or loses a cousin, that's a horrible tragedy. The only way we're going to be able to process that is if we can process it with our community together.
With the rising violence, Louisville doctors are sharing the impact shootings have beyond those who have been killed.
It should outrage all of us.
Dr. Stephen Taylor says some long-term effects of violence can cause a person to have difficulty with depression, anxiety, problems graduating school and succeeding in their career, and for kids, performance issues in class and attention problems.
Which can have a generation's worth of impact on the society we live in.
So where do we go from here? It may sound silly, but finding someone you trust to talk about what is happening in our community is the first step.
I think we can do a better job of that in the community, in our churches. We wanted to have mental health therapists here on that day.
Last week, Pastor Tim Finley at Kingdom Fellowship Christian Life Center had an impromptu session for kids following the school bus shooting that took the life of a 16-year-old student. Conversations Pastor Finley says they'll continue to have in hopes of creating change.
If we're going to have real change, we're going to have to stop accepting the violence. We're going to have to stop accepting many of the things that we're seeing every single week, both from local government to our neighborhoods, and we're going to have to realize that as a city, just because I live in a zip code where some of these social ills and social determinants aren't affecting me, it is still my issue.
Kingdom Fellowship plans to have their next open conversation in mid-October. If you are in need of support, we'll have a link to a list of resources on our website. For WHAS 11, I'm Gabrielle Harmon.